What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is reactions to basically another update on what's happening in California. And I mean, I saw a video so I was looking for sort of news channels to do reactions to, or like titles that I feel like are a bit different to what I've done reactions to get a bit more of an understanding. And I saw something that was like the amount burnt is like the size of, or the amount of land that's been burnt or whatever. It's the size of Miami. Now, obviously, that's not true, but I mean, actually, maybe it is true. Bloody hell, if it's the size of... Okay, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm trying to think of that and like trying to comprehend that. I don't know, but maybe it is. I don't actually know, to be fair. Maybe that is the case. I mean, Miami's a pretty big city, but I'm just trying to think. But yeah, LA fire still raging as National Guard and curfews deployed against looters. So yeah, it seems like chaos is just breaking out now. I mean, chaos has obviously been going on, but now people are probably seeing it as an advantage, as an advantage to, I don't know, steal things. I don't really know, to be fair. It's one of those things where there's so much going on, you don't really know what to look at. But yeah, of course, as I say in all of these videos, prayers are with everyone affected by this. Obviously, I'm assuming a lot of you guys watching these reactions will be affected by this or know people affected. So I am praying for you guys, because I mean, I don't know if there's signs of it slowing down. I think there was stuff about how the winds were slowing down, which obviously calmed it for a bit. But then I think there was stuff also to do with how the winds are going to pick up again. So I'm not sure. But yeah, we're going to check this out to get an understanding of what's happened over the last night. And yeah, let's check this situation out.
Firefighters are still battling to contain the wildfires, which have been raging across Los Angeles for 4 days. Forecasters say that more high winds are expected, which could stoke an already perilous situation. President Biden has said the city reminds him of a war scene. 10 people are now...
What I have seen is people are saying this could have, I don't know if it easily been stopped, but it was somewhat preventable. Now, I haven't looked at the in-depth details, and there was a suggested video in this from this video, so I might just briefly check that one out, how it was preventable. But if that's the case, man, flipping out. And also the insurance companies, from what I saw in the last reaction that I did about how insurance companies, or there's this insurance company that might not have enough or whatever to pay people back. God damn, it's going to get sticky, but it just makes you think insurance companies are honestly the lowest of the low, man.
Known to have died, and around 10,000 homes and buildings have been destroyed.
Bloody hell.
A nighttime curfew has been put in place in the worst affected areas to prevent abandoned homes from being...
So there's 2 massive fires and there's 3 other fires. Bloody hell, man.
...looted. There are 5 fires still burning, and any progress in containing them is very limited. You can see on this map the...
Flipping hell. 8% contained. And this is I think the Palisades one is the biggest fire, isn't it? God damn.
Biggest fire.
3% contained. This is one of the other big fires as well, mate.
Palisades, which was completely out of control yesterday, is now 8% contained. Eaton fire in the Altadena neighbourhood is just 3% contained.
Jesus.
Well, we'll hear from our correspondent in Altadena in just a moment. But first to Emma Vardy, who is on the Pacific Coast Highway for us now. Emma.
Oh.
Well, today firefighters have made progress in some areas, but new fires are still breaking out.
New fires are breaking out. Oh my God.
And as the Palisades fire continues to rage above us, local volunteers are trying to help.
A 4th grueling day, holding the line in the face of LA's inferno, as tens of thousands of acres continue.
This has got to be a mad job, by the way. I mean, I was thinking in one of the reactions I've done before, like, obviously there's high winds and you're getting pretty low to the flames. There's got to be scenarios where this could go wrong, right? I think I've actually seen a video of a plane that was dropping water before crash. This is probably a few years ago. But yeah, this has got to be a risky job, honestly.
To burn.
All right, you guys on radio? We'll meet you up at TCC. You got the radio. All right, you good?
Some communities have taken the disaster response into their own hands.
Fair enough.
Love you, bro.
In Topanga Canyon, with fires burning all around, a group of locals calling themselves the Heat Hawks have sprung into action.
Initially, everyone felt a bit abandoned, but I understand why. We have a very tight community
He's
that's
British.
very connected, and so the local knowledge is really essential.
Well, these guys are just taking a look around the neighborhood to see if they can see any spot fires or just anything they can help with, using whatever resources they can get their hands on: water supplies, fire extinguishers. The emergency services are just so stretched that people like this want to do what they can.
We don't, and we didn't have any left anyway. Okay. But there's more coming. Check for the library. There's going to be some in my house.
Despite an evacuation order, here some residents are staying as long as they can to try to protect properties.
It's just not enough people, not enough crews, you know, enough people. I think they're undermanned. I think that budgets have been cut.
Around 10,000 buildings have been destroyed across the city.
That is mental.
But every now and then, by some miracle, one has...
You have got to be blessed, man. Imagine this. You see all these buildings around you just gone, and then yours is just standing. I mean, honestly, you're going to be happy, but you probably got to feel somewhat guilty, haven't you? I mean, look, it's not your fault. You can't do it, but I feel like you can't really stop. Like, it's not really... You can't blame yourself for feeling guilty when you see all your neighbours' houses gone, and then yours is just more or less absolutely fine. But, yeah, man. Thank God for you.
Been spared. There's been anger at city leaders over the fire response. Now pledges are being made that LA will rebuild.
With so many homes and businesses lost, we are already putting plans in place to make sure that we aggressively rebuild.
Have I seen stuff about her like cutting the fire emergency stuff or something to do with that? I think it's her, or it's someone else, someone in charge.
I believe that there is anything that Angelenos cannot do if we stand together.
The risk of crime poses a new threat. Security has been stepped up in abandoned neighborhoods, and curfews are now being enforced.
You cannot be in these affected areas. If you are subject to arrest. That is important. We're not doing this to inconvenience anybody. We're doing it to protect the structures, the houses that people have left because we ordered them to leave, and I want them to feel confident that we are doing everything we can to secure that.
Along the Pacific Coast Highway is the exclusive LA suburb of Malibu. This once embodied the Californian dream, home to some of the most expensive real estate in America.
Bloody hell, just gone to rubble.
Now ashes.
Mate.
At least 10 people have now died, and it's warned the death toll is expected to increase. Despite days of hard work, it's up here in the hills where the fires are still raging, and with the winds picking up once again, there's real fears about its spread. And they're facing an uphill battle to try to contain it. With a red flag warning for strong winds at the weekend, it's now a race to try to limit the danger.
So now, fuck.
Well, most of the fires have been burning for days. Have a look at this one street in Altadena where the Eaton fire is burning. This is Fair Oaks Avenue. This is what it looks like now after those flames tore through the neighbourhood. And that's what Fair Oaks Avenue looked like before. House after house, street after street, it's all gone. Almost nothing left of these homes. Early estimates suggest the total damage caused could amount to as much as £122 billion. Well, our correspondent John Sudworth joins us now from Fair Oaks Avenue. John.
Well, as thousands of firefighters continue that battle to get this crisis under control, this is what it leaves in its wake. The suburb of Altadena sits at the foot of a mountain range over which the unusually strong winds for this time of year, the Santa Ana winds they call them, poured in on Tuesday night. And it's that really lies at the heart of this disaster. It's almost impossible to give a sense of the true scale. So many stories, so many tragedies. We spent a few hours with the residents of one block of this one neighbourhood.
Mate, imagine, I can't even begin to explain how they would be feeling.
Los Angeles is a city in shock. Thousands of people coming to terms with the once unimaginable.
Right around there are my diamond earrings.
Pete Mitchell, an electrician at Disneyland, and his wife Angela have lived here for over 10 years.
Jesus.
Oh my God, and it survived. Your little elephant box from Thailand.
This was their home before the fire.
That's a beautiful
Altadena
home.
was a pleasant Los Angeles suburb, a middle-class district, a far cry from the mansions and celebrity lifestyles on the other side of the city.
It's devastating, of course.
That looks like such a beautiful place to live as well. Jesus.
Side of the city.
It's devastating, of course. We saw images of it before. Our neighbors had come in here before, but it's also, you know, the opportunity to rebuild, which is hard road, but it can be done. I think we will do it.
I hope we're rebuilding here, and I hope that we'll have these, what we can find that can be memories of the good times we had in this home. It was a good home. It was a really good home.
Around them, fire crews are still patrolling the area, putting out spot fires. This is a city in deep crisis, with the emergency services stretched to the limit and lives totally upended.
Okay.
Just a few doors away, another family surveying the damage. This was Stephanie's home for more than 4 decades, but she says she's now focused on the future.
We're very fortunate that we were able to get out in time.
See, man, the mindset of these people, honestly, like, you've just seen your house, pretty much your life just ripped away. Obviously, you've still got your actual life, right? But your hard work, all of that's just gone. And yet you got this positive mindset. I'm going to be honest, if this was me, I'm firstly not going to be composed enough to talk in front of like people like, on the news or whatever, but I'm not having this mindset. I am... The head loss would be crazy, you know? And there's probably a lot of people that would be like that, to be fair. But fair enough to these people. They're just given this mindset, even at the worst case situation.
Everybody is safe, and we do plan to rebuild bigger and better.
Yes.
So we're grateful.
We're praying for everybody because this is just devastating. Altadena is one of the #1 places to live. It's friendly, it's family oriented. It's just a wonderful community.
A block away, this house had recently seen new tenants move in.
It would have been the middle bin of the closet, her wedding ring.
Tavia Weinman and her family are now picking through the wreckage, salvaging the few keepsakes to have survived the intense heat.
Fucking hell.
It's like overwhelming right now. Because it's like decades and decades of, you know, building things, and it's all gone.
These are scenes repeated across huge swathes of this city, and with the emergency far from over. John Sudworth, BBC News, Altadena.
Let's go back now to our correspondent Emma Vardy. And Emma, you spoke at the end of your report about fears that the situation might get worse before it gets better.
Well, there's now 3,000 firefighters battling that Palisades fire above us. But Rita, they're stretched, they're fatigued, and the fear is that with those winds picking up, that any progress that's been made, it can be reversed very quickly. And down here, of course, we're under no illusions as to what the consequences are when the fire starts spreading once again and moves incredibly fast. These buildings, once luxury beachfront properties, they're still smouldering. But gradually people have started to come down here themselves to look at the damage. But now there is this curfew in place from 6 p.m. at night until 6 p.m. in the morning to try to prevent looting while this crisis continues.
Emma, thank you very much. Emma Vardy there reporting from Pacific Coast Highway. Well, powerful winds.
Sci-fi from a distance. Flames.
These
LA,
pictures. Oh, wow.
LA in flames. It is like a vision from a dystopian sci-fi movie, but it is happening right now, and it is exactly the kind of event climate scientists have been warning about for years. And remember this, the devastating floods in Spain caused by exceptionally heavy rain in October. Or this, the historic drought in the Amazon basin, which reduced river levels to a 120-year low.
Before the Industrial Revolution, so between 1850 and 1900, average global temperatures were about 13.5 degrees Celsius. Now take a look at this. Each line shows average daily air temperatures for every year since 1940. The redder the colour, the hotter the temperature. And just look how relentless the temperature rise has been, with last year, 2024, the hottest year ever recorded. And look at this, it was also the first calendar year in which average temperatures exceeded 1.5 degrees above pre-industrial levels.
Experts say it represents a new climate era for our species.
So, so that's 20, 30 years ago. Did LA get fires like this? Was there wildfire? I mean, I know it's had wildfires recently, but was LA always a place that would have wildfires, or is it just more recent history? I'm going to assume it's been happening for quite a long time, but I don't really know, because I thought maybe we'd get to a point now where the technology's going to... I mean, technology's not going to stop fires, right? But you could sort of ensure maybe it doesn't spread as much, or just they'd understand it more. But maybe it's just such a new phenomenon in terms of like in this region. It's just still like trying to understand how to combat it, I guess. I don't really know.
We're living in a climate that humanity hasn't experienced before. We can say with confidence when we look at ice core records, when we look at other data sets, that this is the warmest period for at least the last 100,000 years or so.
God damn. This is the one I wanted to see. How they could have minimized the damage.
Behind me, just one of so many examples of utter destruction across Los Angeles. There was a fire put out here right before we came on air. Fire truck.
No one was caught unawares here. Strong Santa Ana winds were forecast, and after months without significant rain, bone-dry vegetation was obviously primed to burn.
Yeah.
Number one, were there enough boots on the ground to fight the flames? Easy answer, no.
We don't have enough fire personnel in LA County between all of the departments to handle this.
In a memo 2 years ago, LA City's Fire Chief Kristen Crowley said more staff were needed with increased risk due to climate change and increased construction.
Look at this! Oh, this is a fucked video. Jesus. But yeah, the fire chief or whatever was basically pleading to have more people, I guess a higher budget to have more people in the fire service.
Increased construction in danger zones. Just last month, Chief Crowley told Mayor Karen Bass that eliminating some civilian positions and cutting $7 million from firefighters' overtime severely limited the department's capacity to prepare for, train for, and respond to large-scale...
I mean, look, maybe there's reasons for... I don't know the in-depth reasons, but off face value, this just seems like absolute negligence. Like, just not thinking stuff through. Like... I don't really know why this was not taken care of more, and now you're reaping the rewards, or however you say it. This is sort of what you've caused in a sense. Like, if you're not going to have the people who are there to help protect this stuff from happening, and other people, what do you expect?
Emergencies. Clearing brush, which is basically fuel, is crucial and mandatory. Chief Crowley says budget cuts mean they couldn't inspect to make sure the clearing was actually happening.
There were no reductions that were made that would have impacted the situation that we were dealing with over the last couple of days.
Number two, was there enough water to fight the flames? Again, easy answer, no.
Multiple homes threatened. I need about 2 or 3 water tenders, and there were some engines. We got dry hydrants.
3 huge water tanks help boost pressure in the hydrants around here, but
we were not able to fill the tanks fast enough.
Because demand was overwhelming, and the Palisades is at the end of the city water system with narrower pipes with reduced flow. Some hydrants ran dry at absolutely critical moments, like 3 a.m. Wednesday.
We've lost most of the hydrant pressure.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
All literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
But experts tell CNN there's not a city water system in the world that could have flawlessly handled this.
Now that we're in the 21st century, I think we have a new climate and we need to rethink our infrastructure.
Number 3, are building codes to blame? Yes and no. Anything built after 2008 is subject to some of the strictest fireproofing codes in the country, but only about 5% of structures around here were built after 2010, according to CAL FIRE. And those codes generally do not require retrofitting. So the new mall in Palisades Village is okay, and the 100-year-old mall just across the road is gone.
Wow.
And acres of devastation with the odd new build home still standing.
Fuck
Number 4,
me.
power line problems.
That is such a mad picture. Literally 2 malls apart. One's absolutely fine. The other's gone. Flipping hell.
Years ago, the devastating Woolsey fire just east of here was lit, like many wildfires, by sparks from above-ground power lines in a Santa Ana wind.
You could have 80-mile-an-hour winds, but if there's no spark, there's no fire.
We don't know what ignited this week's fires, but according to Whisker Labs, there were multiple power line faults and sparks around the Palisades, Eaton and Hearst fires in the hours before they broke out. If power lines are below ground, they cannot start fires. The town of Paradise, destroyed in 2018 by fire, right now rebuilding with the power lines underground. Now, this was, as some officials say, a perfect storm. The high winds meant they couldn't fight this fire from the air for those first crucial hours, and in terrain like this, without air assets, you've a hand tied behind your back.
Rest assured, we will absolutely do an evaluation to look at what worked, what didn't work, and to correct or to hold accountable any body, department, individual, etc.
And air here, obviously, you and I were just saying right now, is particularly noxious and toxic. There is a lot of finger pointing, and it seems that more and more of it's pointing at elected officials and decisions that were made on budgets.
Sure. I mean, so Chief Crowley came out today and she is pulling no punches, the fire department chief here in LA. She said she's a public servant, not a politician. Her job is to make sure that her people have the equipment they need to fight fires, and she says they don't. 2010 till now, she says they're dealing with 50% more calls, but with fewer firefighters. They need 62 more fire stations, she said. She said this past week they had 100 pieces of equipment in the shop because they don't have enough mechanics. So she is saying absolutely budget cuts got in the way of their ability to fight this fire. But here's the other thing she said. Even with 100 more engines, Erin, she said that they weren't going to be catching this fire.
No.
This was just getting away from them.
And,
Whatever.
And as you said, they will come up with what they say started it. Maybe it was arson in some cases, but there were also those sparking pyro lines, and that very well could have been it. And that is, that there's nothing they could have done about that, except for ages ago when they could have made different decisions.
You know, how many billions of dollars did this cost? How many billions of dollars would it cost to put the power lines underground? I don't know.
I want to check in with our Nick Watt, who has been working, tirelessly since this fire started. Nick, what's the latest where you are?
I mean, that's pretty much explaining it, right? Fucking brutal. Jeez, man. What do you do? Now insurance real estate will drastically increase in price and make California even more undesirable to live in. Yeah. $1 billion sent to bomb Gaza, and now the fire's taken $800 billion in damage. Serves you right. Bloody hell. That's a mad comment. Absolutely predictable. In fact, it was predicted. Yeah, I've seen stuff like that. Like how it was very predictable and all this sort of stuff. But, hey man, it's pretty fucking insane. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Of course, finger pointing will be everywhere. It's one of those things that people are going to be passing on the blame. But at the end of the day, it's just the general public that are affected by this, So I'm praying for everyone affected. And yeah, hopefully, I mean, I don't know what the winds are saying now, but hopefully it can ease. But from what I'm seeing, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. It seems like it's probably going to get worse before it's going to get better. So yeah, obviously it's a horrible situation. And obviously I'm going to keep updated. And that's pretty much it. Until next time. Peace.